my viewers. My name still remains Benyon Sunday. I welcome you all to my channel on PU Formal Academy. In my last presentation, you can see we are still on a characterization of polyether polyol. That is a polymeric polyol as the major raw material in PU forming process and technique. Now, I did say that if you look at the data sheet, most of these things that we mentioned is very, very important. If it's not important, I will not stressing you going through them, because by the time we are going to look at other parameters in a formulation or process, you are going to come across all these things. So that the reason for this is for you to get the preliminary understanding on these characteristics, what and what they are doing in a forming reaction. Now, polymer content, polymer stroke solid content of polyol. Looking at this, when you look at the technical data sheet, you come across it, and it's well stated there by the manufacturer of polymeric polyol. A lot of people do say, what is the solid content of your polyol? And I ask myself, why do we use the word solid content? Because this is a polymerized product that are being dispersed into polyol system. They are all solid. We have two types of solid. We have polymerized solid, and we have those ones that cannot react. We call it inert solid material that are being also dispersed into polyol. Such example is calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate do not take part in the chemical reaction. That is to say, it does not react chemically, but it reacts physically. Now, in the in the polymer content means the percentage of polymerized material, excluding solid material like calcium, or excluding inert gas. Inert material like calcium or carbonate is not present here. So that is why people say 10% solid content. That means the percentage of this material in respect to all polyol that are being introduced in that polyol system. Okay, so it comes in various percentage. You have 10% in the market, you have 15% in the market, you have 20% in the market, you have 25% in the market, etc. You understand? So it's all depend on what you want. And this one, it is introduced into polyol system as a polymer, as a copolymer, just to further reinforce, okay, bringing out the load-bearing properties of that polyol that will give you the best form and also the durability. But in the solid content, we meant non-inert compound or solid. Let me use the word solid. Solid. It also excluding this, okay? But when you add this one and this polymeric solid, we now have the average solid content. But in the formulation, when you are carrying out formulation, this one has to be put into consideration, while this one, we don't normally put this into consideration. How does this thing work? This one work this way. For example, if you have a polyol, let's say 100 kg, you need to introduce 20% of this filler, that is a calcium carbonate that do not react, what you do is that you are going to substitute 20 of this and replace by this. So in this case, what I'm trying to say is that 80 and 20 kg. This is polyol. This is a filler as solid content. And remember that inside this one, you are still having a polymerized solid here, which is a SAN. SAN, normally known as styrene acrylonitrile. That is what is being added there as a copolymer, and it varies in percentage. So for this one, it's filler that we are adding. So the total of this will now increase the load. But the function of this one, solid content here, that we use it interchangeably, but I do not blame people, but because most of them are solid material that are being dispersed in this polyol system. But for me, as a professional, I would say polymer content, then solid content. But when you use two words, while you are mentioning the solid content, I will quickly understand that once you use the word solid content, you mean this one. Once you use the word poly content, you mean this one. So that is how it is being carried out professionally. Then look at this. Now, this plus this will give you 100 kg. We still arrived at the total kg. So by the time you are calculating the percentage of this filler into this, that will be 20 divided by 100 times 100. When you take this one, you have 20%. So 20% is added here. But some people do make a mistake. Look at the common mistake by the people. The common mistake is that the fact that you are adding solid content into polyol, you are not just adding it. There is something you want to achieve. The principle of bringing this solid content was to reduce cost of production, costing, okay, and hardness, okay, then increasing the density. So what is simple tell you that if you are making a foam density of 22, you intended to make a foam density of 22. You can still make foam density of 21 that look like 22 by the addition of this solid content. So that is the implication. So by the time you are using 100 plus 20, okay, and this is what the total is, the total solid here introduced dispersed in this polyol will be 120, whereas polyol is supposed to be part in terms of 100, not above 100. You are taking 120. So this is not the principle of how to carry out a good and a balanced formulation with the use of solid content into the polymer content. So in this case, the main idea of this content in the foaming reaction is to further increase the load bearing capacity of your end product. You see, so continue to like my page on your notification bell so that whenever I'm going to load a new video, you'll be notified. Subscription is free. Thank you. Bye bye.